Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Phyrexia All Will Be One action, and today we're playing some more Atraxa, but today this is a special brew inspired by a comment from Hannes. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we're playing ninjas, dimir ninjas, except for we're trying to ninja in Atraxa with Satoru Umezawa, which says, the last part of it's what matters, which is each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu, two generic, one blue, one black. So for 4 mana, we can ninjutsu in Atraxa and just cheat her in for 4 mana. Will this happen? We'll have to find out. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think it should be a lot of fun. If you don't know what ninjutsu is, if we go ahead, read up here. Return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. So basically, we attack in. If the opponent doesn't sign any blockers, that's when we can activate this ability. You'll see some spinning daggers up in the corners, or spinning shurikens up in the corners of the card, and then you'll be able to put it onto the battlefield, replacing one of your unblocked creatures. So in order to enable this whole ninjutsu thing, we are trying to play a bunch of cheap flyers here. We have a total of 9 of them in the deck, and then we have a little bit of removal with cut down to go for the throats. We have some more cheap ninjas. A Moon Circuit Hacker will allow us to draw cards, can discard. This gives us lifelink Death Touch, which is kind of nice against our opponents. We got the Kaitos, which draw cards, and our Kaito Shizuki, the 3 mana one, is just generally a pretty good planeswalker. It is important to note, as part of these cards like Moon Circuit Hacker and Kaito, we might be discarding Atraxa, and so we're playing one copy of Cruelty of the Gix, which will also potentially help us find our Satoru if we want it, but it can also reanimate a creature from a graveyard. So if we end up discarding Atraxa, maybe we go ahead and reanimate it. That's the game plan. I got a little bit of experience with ninjas, not that much at all, so this will be very interesting. We'll see how we can do on the ranked ladder, and yeah, this should be fun. Should be fun. There'll be a full deck tech at the end of the video, so stick around if you're interested in that. We'll review how the deck turned out, maybe some what like cards would be a good idea to replace, because I don't have a ton of experience with ninjas, so we're gonna have to look at that again or reflect after a series of games here. And if you enjoy Magic the Gathering Arena videos, consider subscribing because I try and make unique decks basically daily. Very excited for the new set. We'll be talking about those cards hopefully Friday or Saturday. I'll be putting out a video talking about all the spoiled cards or the previewed cards. And yeah, this hand looks like too many lands, not enough ninjas. Alright, we not much better. It is better. I don't think we need double Moon Circuit Hacker is one thing. But this is looking shaping up to be a pretty bad hand here. Maybe I should have mulliganed again, just kept the well, our opponent doesn't actually have any blockers, so we might actually be in business. We're interested in drawing cards, so we're going to play out this so that we can ninjutsu in a Moon Circuit Hacker. At least that's the hope. Hopefully our opponent doesn't play out a creature on 3. Seems kind of unlikely, but that also works. Okay, there we go. Network Disruptor, that's what we wanted to see. Go out, play out Network Disruptor. I don't know, tap down their scroll side to to shock them with the power that is Network Disruptor. It's nice that I can come in, tap down something, and it's also very important to note that a lot of these ninja creatures have different creature types, which can be relevant since this is an enchantment creature, this is an artifact creature, and then we can find like also creatures, because Atraxa cares about different creature types. Um, yeah, I think we just ninjutsu in a Moon Circuit Hacker off of this. You can see this is what it looks like. I forgot to pause because I'm forgot to pause to demonstrate what it looks like, but go ahead, draw a card, play down Network Disruptor. I don't know, tap down Mondrak. And you know what? We'll hold up a cut down. Just in case our opponent finds something. Our opponent had an amazing curve though. Scrubs Hive into Mondrak. We don't have any sweepers in this deck, and we haven't like actually played a particularly snowbally hand, so we're probably just gonna die to actually I could just not Moon Circuit Hacker. Let's just do this. Let's do this. But yeah, our opponent had a pretty amazing start in terms of token generation, and we don't have a ton of interaction. Interesting that they do that instead of just keeping and holding it up, because, well, I mean, I guess we only have a 1-mana removal spell, so we're less worried about the damage to our life total rather than the poison counters, just because the poison is most likely what's going to be killing us here. Alright, well, it looks like hopefully we can draw and discard into something useful with this Moon Circuit Hacker. I think that's what we're going to be doing here. Do we want to hold back the Network Disruptor? Nah. We live life on the edge here. Oh wow, the music is very quiet. I'll try and fix that after this. Roll a card. Okay, that is something. We don't need 2 Satoru's. Satoru Umezawa. We can give it Death Touch for 1 mana, but that's not particularly relevant against our opponent here. They can gain 2 life here, which is going to be relevant. There goes our draw discard. We're stuck on 3 lands. I'm playing 24 lands, so not even playing this perhaps proper, like, low to the ground deck building. Oh. We're gonna need some pretty ridiculous ninjutsu here for this to work out like we want. Oh, okay, well. We can do this, which is kind of fun. But it's not really useful. Yeah, don't block it. Ninjutsu, yay! Return this to our hand. And then we can create a copy of Network Disruptor. Huge, big brain plays here. Select a creature or player or planeswalker to attack. We don't need 2 creatures going to our opponent. And then we can tap something down. We're going to tap down Mondrak just to be mean. Also, I think that song is generally relatively quiet. And then, of course, as I go to adjust the sound, it switches songs. Funny. Now this is just loud. Well, you look at that, we died. Alright. Let's see if we can do a little bit better in this next game. That was kind of unfortunate. Probably should have mulliganed one more time, but honestly, I think we should have either kept that first hand, mulliganed one more time, or just accepted a loss. Alright, I'm done fiddling with the volume in terms of the music. I will stop now. Sauron Alvern. Okay, well now, I mean, we got the, we got the cheap flyers. Kind of want a mulligan still. Okay. All right. Well, we'll take this. We have 2 good cards, kind of, that work well together. Satoru and wow, we're very good at this game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Though I want to ask, what cards are you all most interested in from the new set? I'm as part of the the set or the standard like set review. That's probably what I'll title the video or something. Um, I'm gonna be talking about like I'm gonna look at all the cards. Well, all the cards minus like not all the commons and uncommons, but and then at the end of it, I'm probably gonna say like, oh, what are the 20 rare or sorry, 10 rares or 10 mythics or 10 mythics and 10 rares. Maybe I'll say 20 rares because there's like 80 rares. All right, this is a much better hand. This is like a really decent hand. No, this is probably just gonna get cut down. That's a good question. Is ninjas just dead as an archetype because of cut down? I do wonder. Because it does make sense that it does kind of hamper on the whole like ninja thing. Oh wait, we should have played a blue land. That was an oops. An island would have been a good move. Alright, well we can cut down whatever our opponent plays at least. Please play something, opponent. Oh. No, please. Yep, there goes our Moon Circuit hacker. Alright, we do have a planeswalker of our own that will be helpful. And we're gonna tap your Liliana. Get wrecked. We're gonna tap it again. Can you believe that? Alright, so it's unlikely that they remove both of these, so we should be able to ninjutsu with this Nezumi Prowler. We can discard a land here, probably. Opponent's packing the removal. Liliana, oh my goodness. This is a discard deck that our opponent's playing. I guess we can just play Kaito and just keep on drawing. Though eventually they're going to ultimate their Liliana, which would not be ideal.
Yeah, you won't stop. I've got the technological edge.
Unblocked attacker. Well, I guess it technically can be unblocked attacking a planeswalker. So I think we'd still ninjutsu off of attacking a planeswalker. Okay.
Whatever.
I'm going to lose it. There's a very, like, cool deck our opponent's playing in the sense that, like, they have a lot of ways to proliferate their Liliana while just keeping the board clear, and Liliana wants the board to be clear. It's also terribly annoying. I meant to play the Dark Six Shores, but probably won't matter. Both of our creatures are probably dead. Opponent seems to have had playing removal and Liliana, and maybe no, not even Koth, I doubt. Probably removal, like proliferate removal, Liliana, and like maybe one other. Sort of like payoff. Invoke Despair. Opponent just hasn't found their fourth black source before they invoke Despair us. Ah, it's a forge deck. Okay, that also makes sense. Fits with the whole keep the board clean and just proliferate. This is a very cool deck from our opponent. Doesn't mean I don't hate them for playing it into me because it it feels awful having my stuff removed non-stop. Does damage to a combat player? No, it doesn't matter. I think since the priority has gone back to our opponent, yeah, there we go. Finally, we can do some things. There could be an argument too of keeping that in our hand if our opponent found another Liliana. But yeah, we can't really have them go to the +6 Liliana.
Something suspicious is going on, and for once it's not my fault.
We'll go ahead and sacrifice the Moon Circuit Hacker, I think. Gonna get in with Mishras instead of using it to block and defend their Liliana. I mean, I guess they're winning here. Get rid of their manland for good. Opponent tapped out here, so we should just be able to go in and get rid of their Liliana. But we've been spending so much time targeting their Liliana that I imagine that we're gonna be dead in a in a little while here. Zerberus Forge is no joke. 3 damage this turn, 4 damage next turn, 5 damage the next turn. Throw in a Proliferate once or twice and it starts getting out of hand. I should have used the destroy artifact side of that, but it wouldn't really matter that much. It's just not damage dependent. Alright, you know what we're doing next turn. We're gonna try and ninjutsu in a giant flesh gorger. No blocks. Hopefully the last spell our opponent has isn't a removal spell. Okay, the last 2 spells that they have isn't a removal spell. Please don't remove it before I get to do the ninjutsuing. Block the Satoru. Oh. Oh. 4 mana ninjutsu. Yep. Coming in is the worm. The Phyrexian worm. Too bad we didn't get the triggered here. When you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of them into hand and the rest of them bottom of your library in a random order. Triggers only once each turn. Fortunately for our opponent here, they're gonna have to cough up their Mishra's Foundry as a blocker against us. Or we need a removal. Okay, that's pretty good. Play a Satoru. Now our creatures are live to ninjutsu. Opponent's gonna crew or activate their Mishra's Foundry, and we're going to obliterate their morbid oper. Oh wait, did they do that at the wrong time? I don't know. Do you have to do that before it moves to the attacker or the blocker's phase? I would think so. Because then you're trying to assign blockers. You can't, like, once the prompt to assign blockers shows up, you can't, like, crew, I don't think. So we used Satoru to ninjutsu something in, but it just didn't happen to be an Atraxa. We ninjutsu'd in a full cost Phyrexian Flesh Gorger, which was pretty good. Pretty good. We would have been able to sort of hard cast it, but I think we still got more value and more damage out of ninjutsuing it long term. This is the combo hand. If we can find 4 lands, this is a combo hand. Because we've got Network Disruptor. Let's hope our opponent's not playing removal, but we got the stuffs. We got the stuffs. Okay, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Yeah, tap that Sulphur Springs. Yeah, no mana for you, opponent. I'm kind of worried. They are playing Rakdos. Rakdos and Grixis stand as some of the best of the Met. Oh, okay. Nope, our opponent's a Jankster. Nobody in their right mind plays Angel of Suffering. I mean, I've built around it before. It's a fun card. We'll pop it up here after we go through our attack phase. There's no point in ninjutsuing that in. And then we can go ahead and play this again. Gives us another untapped blocker. We need to just like top deck a land here soon. But yeah, if you're dealt damage, you prevent that damage and mill twice that number of cards. It's a 5/3 for 5 with flying. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and play this down as a blocker here, I think, and then we get in with both of these. If our opponent doesn't block a Moon Circuit Hacker, it gives us a draw discard to dig deeper and try and find another land, so we can ninjutsu in the Atraxa next turn. Draw. Yes, 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 yes. Alright, we're gonna get rid of the Moon Circuit Hacker here because it's probably the least useful thing here. This can make a copy of things, which is really cool, and can surprise opponents. Ooh, Xander, nice. Though Xander would not be so nice to have it happen to us immediately. But we only need two of the cards in our hand. Opponent could turn 4 reanimate. We will go ahead and block with Satoru, I think. Actually, I'm kind of worried that they might have like an abrade. We're just not gonna block. I don't know what's going on. I also happen to have like the fancy art. Yep, there's Grave Shift. It's gonna make us discard cards. So we only have to discard 2 cards. We can get rid of these 2, and then we'll be able to refill our hand next turn. Opponent's gonna be milling us here, potentially. But we're not gonna have that. You know why we're not gonna have that? Ninja, oh my goodness. Oh goodness. That's too funny. Alright, yeah, Phyrexian Flesh Gorger is pretty good. What's that? Even more cards? Don't mind if I do. A Planeswalker, creature, artifact, land. Yeah, that's a decent land. And, yeah, cut downs. Doesn't seem bad. Doesn't seem bad. Bonk. Gain a bunch of life. Discard 2 cards. I mean, we just need to finish off our opponent next turn, and that's it. So let's go ahead. Discard. Anything that can clear us away is good. I don't think we need these this cut downs. We can discard that and the swamp because we do have the Otawara. We have a land to play if we want it. And our opponent could just die to an Atraxa in the sky. Opponent can't duplicate the Lord Xander with their Kiki Jiki because this is non-legendary, but we're going to lose half our library here because whenever it attacks, defending player mills half their library. We can just go for the fur at that, and then we're game. I like our opponent's brew. Go ahead, block. Bonk. Play this. Sorry, opponent. The ninja Atraxa. Wow. We actually got it off. Was that turn 4? I think that was turn 4. Our opponent played first. Yeah, they missed a land drop. So I think that was turn 4. We ninja'd in Atraxa. Pretty good. Pretty good. That is pretty good. I mean, Atraxa is just such a good card. It's hard for it to be bad in a deck. It's just it's also still kind of fun to play in a lot of decks. I don't think I've quite worn out playing Atraxa for myself yet. I haven't like I've played it, but I haven't played a ton of games of Atraxa. I'm If you can't tell, I'm not the type of person to play the same deck a bunch of the time. Alright, this is a pretty good hand in terms of as ninjas go. We got Network Disruptor turn 1, Ninjutsu and a Moon Circuit Hacker to draw a card, and then we can play the Network Disruptor again, and then next turn we can just Kaido Shizuki, draw a card. It's pretty good. Soldiers. That's less good. That is less good. Or legendaries? I guess we won't be Kaidoing anytime soon. I guess I could block it, but I kind of want to draw a card off of my Moon Circuit Hacker. You get a free card. I can double ninjutsu. Doesn't serve any purpose right now. Draw. And then play this. Opponent think they're playing soldiers. They just kind of unfortunate. Thalia happens to be a soldier. Fortunate for us. Good for our opponent. By attacking with a Moon Circuit Hacker, do they block? That's my question. All the Moon Circuit Hacker allows us to do is rummage some. Yeah, we could have really used a Cruelty of Gix. Or Gix's Command, sorry. We have Cruelty of Gix in this deck. Gix's Command would be like 2 copies of that would be something good to play against these creature decks. Because at the current board state, that would help us sweeper the board, but it also would probably blow up majority of our board as well. Fortunately, Kaido is not something we were going to be playing this game, or this turn. Question is, can we out-aggro our opponent? We have a Thousand Face Shadow that we could ninjutsu in next turn. I mean, we're taking how much damage? A bunch. No blockers. I think we Thousand Face Shadow next turn, ninjutsu in. And then, opponent, do they have any creatures is the question. If it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Fortunately, we cannot. I guess this could technically copy Atraxa. It doesn't say non-legendary. First off, you need to get the Atraxa onto the battlefield. Second off, you need to ninjutsu this in on another creature, and then you can target Atraxa. You can make a tapped and attacking legendary token copy, but then it's going to legend rule, so you don't get the damage from it. Or maybe you probably don't get the damage because they would check that there's legendaries before you finish the actual attack part, I would think. I think as permanents enter the battlefield, they check whether or not there are any other legendary permanents that they're going to legend rule themselves with. Opponent here thinking, performing the thinker when it comes to what to do about this matchup. We're going to be able to crack back for some damage, but I think we're just dead. I don't think there's, honestly, there's no sweeper in black low enough to the ground. Our opponent's playing a very competitive deck, so I don't think there's that much you can do against this sort of, like, opponent had 3/3 drops. Thalia is also brutal. We would have gotten Kaido down, which would have been kind of nice. But we wouldn't have gotten like a Moon Circuit Hacker, and played out our other 2 creatures. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I don't know. Kaido at least would have been able to produce chump blockers for a little bit. -2 created chump blocker. Or we're so good at ninjas that we like snuck in and disconnected our opponent's computer, and now we get a free dub. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. I mean, it's in the name, Moon Circuit Hacker. Clearly that's what we're doing here. No, I think our opponent must have had to go somewhere. Hey, I mean, this is not the less glorious way to win, but I guess we're technically on a win streak. I guess. I don't know. Doesn't exactly feel like it. That last game felt like we were winning. But or not that last game. The one that we ninjutsu'd in Atraxa. You know what I mean. All right. Interesting noises. Bamkiss or Bamsis. Bombkit? I don't know how it's pronounced. Unfortunate we don't have another untap source, but this should do. We can ninjutsu turn 2. Our opponent, it's a good sign. Riveteer's outlook is a decent sign here. Means that, ooh, okay, yeah, that's good. Ninja. Cruelty of Gix can help us find... What is this? Pet symbol. Yeah, I don't really know what that is. Oh, never mind. Gix is gone. Don't look at our lands that way, opponent. Our opponent is playing Jund value. Okay. Don't mind if I do. If we can get our hand intact for the next 2 turns, we get to ninjutsu in Atraxa. Which is pretty good. What is that? I feel like these are probably like card arts that you had to buy because they seem very uh they seem like very old sets that wouldn't be on the client natively or normally. Please don't interrupt our network disruptor. I know it might be disrupting you, but it's gonna be okay. Opponent, this is gonna be really funny. I assure you, this is totally very funny. Actually, okay, we got it off twice in how many games? I'm not saying this is a good plan. It's just, hey, like, if it's worked once and worked another time, like, kind of crazy, no? We're not gonna pick up that. How many cards do we have in hand? We have 5. I'm actually gonna count for once. Um, Zumi Prowler though does seem very good. So we'll pick up that, and we're gonna be discarding a land anyways, so keep it at that. And then we can go ahead discard the Darkslick Shores. Sounds good to me. We got a land drop for next turn. We got a Planeswalker that can stop Phyrexian Obliterator from attacking in. Thanks to Kaido, just plus oneing up to 1 target creature can't attack or block until your next turn. They could fight rigging. Or they could fight spell, but we can just go for the throat it next turn anyways. So we don't actually need to use Kaido to just chump it down. Or keep it out. Fortunately, this does not have trample. Ooh, no, you're supposed to attack in it, so we could... Actually, we can't lethal. Any way I look at it, we can't lethal. It's unfortunate. Actually, no, we can. There's a trick here. No, we can't. We need just a bit more damage. Unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and destroy this to get rid of it. And then... I guess we can play... Kind of want to ninjutsu this in off of Satoru, or we can ninjutsu back the Atraxa into our hand. It's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. Let's just play out a few creatures, or play out a creature. Tap this down so we can do this. We can still get them pretty low with this plan. Just do this. Ninjutsu, replace the Satoru. Seems fine with me. Give this elf lifelink and death touch, or up to like how much? 33, and they're down to 1. Seems pretty good. They need to respond to basically every single one of our creatures, because look at this one. We can still ninjutsu in off this network disruptor, so we're not too worried. Do you have three? Do you have the three-peat? If you have the three-peat, I would be impressed. Alright, well, Ninja Atraxa taking home the dub again. Crazy. Crazy. We're gonna get out of plat 3 with this. That's funny. Well, okay, knock on wood. The next one we're losing now that I said that. And then we're gonna have to win 2 in a row to get that back. You know, the good old back and forth of trying to climb. This has honestly been a lot more fun than I imagined. Like ninjas, they don't do anything particularly flashy, but they're really good at snowballing, and then just throwing a Atraxa with Satoru, and it's kind of ridiculous. Don't mind shocking ourselves for 1 here at the beginning, as long as our opponent's not playing mono red, which they're probably not. They're playing control, so we're probably just gonna lose anyways. I got the Jace Avatar, they're playing Azorius, they're probably playing Mind Splice Apparatus. Put $20 down on that. No, not really. They might just be playing something else. In the colors. Reanimator is commonly in red-white, red-black, or blue-white. We can go ahead attack in. They don't have Spell Pierce. That's what I thought. You don't. Alright, yeah, let's draw a card. If we find Satoru, we're setting ourselves up for something pretty good. This is still not bad. We can blink the Thousand Face Shadow back to hand. Ooh. That's spicy. I respect our opponent for that. I'm gonna, in an effort to do as much damage as humanly possible, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Ninjutsu back this. And then, yeah, give this lifelink death touch, all that good stuff. I like this because it can surprise, sometimes if the opponent blocks with like another creature, you can give a different creature lifelink and or death touch and whatnot. But we're gonna give creature unblockable, and then we can Thousand Face Shadow in ninjutsu next turn. Which is pretty good because you can create a token copy of a attacking creature. Alright, well I'm glad I have stuff in hand. Go ahead. Roll and discard. Yeah, Dark Slick Shores, you're not very useful, are you? We'll go ahead and play this out, I think, and then we'll hold up ninjutsu for it with the Thousand Face Shadow. So we don't have to play into another board wipe. Wasn't wrong about control here. Interesting what our opponent's playing. Looks like Esper. Maybe they're playing Esper Planeswalkers. They might even be playing Kaido themselves. We do get a free card draw off of this, which is nice. But we might want to wait till their end step to do that. It's just best behavior, just in case they have like a sorcery speed discard. If we did it during their turn, we would have potentially okay, this is awkward. This is a little awkward. Draw discard. Cruelty of Gix. Damn it. Alright, I can play this. I mean, I could get something else back. That's true. Let's just do this. I could get Satoru back, and if I get Satoru back, then okay. You didn't Atraxa. I would have wished you stayed a little undercover there, so you didn't like reveal our plan to our opponent here, but fair enough. Well, we're not out of card advantage here, which is like the killer thing for our opponent. Our opponent needs planeswalker removal. They honestly shouldn't have really bothered without using this on the creature. They should have gone for the Kaido. I don't know if Kaido was up at that same time, but maybe they're looking for their life total and they don't have that many removal spells to spare. But Kaido's gonna make this so that our opponent can't just draw their way out of this while removing everything, because we can just draw to our heart's content as well. If we top deck a land, we can Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Admittedly, there's some argument to the fact that we should be playing more dual lands. Any of like the blue and green, or sorry, white and green like dual lands in these colors wouldn't be terrible. Opponent is going to proliferate. So we can play Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Oh. Oh. Our opponent is probably going to go ahead and wait, what? Oh, I was like, what? It looked different. It looked different. It confused me. We should be able to finish off our opponent here, assuming they don't have another board wipe. Key assumption being made here. Okay, we can eat it, is what I'm trying to say.
Now, what do we have here?
Man, Satoru is gonna die. Oh wait, Satoru gives us treasure. Eh. Wait a minute. Opponent, help us cast our spell. Do I want to get rid of it? Okay, we get rid of one. We get rid of one. All right. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. All right. This sets up the opportunity to ninjutsu if our opponent goes for the Thousand Face Shadow over the Satoru. They're probably not going to do so. They know that we have probably an Atraxa in hand, considering we just discarded one. Doesn't really make too much sense. I bloody hate you, opponent. That is the most disgusting sweeper in the game. I hate that sweeper, because if you don't have a sweeper as a response, you just lose. Ay, caramba. And it meant that they don't have to... Okay, well, we tried. We tried. I mean, like, we need Cruelty of Gix.
I'm here to help.
And then Cruelty of Gix doesn't even win us the game. We can do this, though. That's something.
Scrapheads, what real tech can do.
I mean, Kaido... Wait, hold on. Kaido. If we get this Kaido ultimated... but we need 2 more turns, and we're not going to live 2 more turns, so it doesn't matter. Because, yeah, this is just... Is White Sun's Twilight in a nutshell? You cast it, your opponent doesn't have a sweeper as a response, you win. It's fun once, and then I got very... it's just like, okay, well, I'm glad that we threw away the 15 minutes before this, like, the spell was cast, because it doesn't really matter at this point. It's interesting. Wait a minute. Wait, opponent. Do you not have removal? Uh-oh, opponent, come on now. What the heck? We just return this to hand, and the drone says when it leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Ah! Okay. You filthy rat. Wait a minute, that's a really good roll. That's a really good draw. Does it save us is the other question. We're just gonna... I mean...
Fight what you can't see.
Do we just do that? Alright, let's play this, get it from our graveyard. Let's do that. Let's do that. Well, we could get Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Okay, this is a tough question. Is the Flesh Gorger or the Atraxa better? Do we have anything that could do what we want right now? I don't think so. So we don't want to search the library. We don't particularly care what our opponent has in their hand. Opponent's going to be able to gain more life. So I think we just need to reanimate. The question is, what do we reanimate? We can play down a Flesh Gorger next turn. Do we want just Atraxa here? They're going to just -2 it from Vraska. Opponent's going to be able to take us up to 3 plus, like, 3 plus 2 poison. So they can take us up to 9 poison here, assuming they don't have another Proliferate spell in hand. But we can block one of them if we... Yeah, I think we actually get the Flesh Gorger here, funny enough. And then we can also do this and just make one of these not able to attack in. That helps. And then I think we should be able to be good to go to their face and just win next turn. It feels bad that we didn't reanimate Atraxa, but like Flesh Gorger's menace, or its ward here that says ward pay life equal to its Flesh Gorger's power, it just seems more important at this moment. Though I imagine our opponent can't, they can still proliferate, pay 3 life and proliferate, so they still have some proliferate here. They won't be able to attack in with 2 of their mites thanks to Kaito. Now they can't proliferate, but we go up to 5. But they can't proliferate with their staff. If they proliferate with their staff to get a kill, it would turn into a draw, I'm pretty sure. I think, but it's also possible that they, I think we do this. It's not like they have anything to give it Death Touch. Like, who runs a card that does that? Not very many people at all. Okay. So we're still doing alright. Because their opponent... Oh my goodness, this is a tense game. I hate Toxic though. We're literally going to die to Toxic is like half the thing. Alright. This seems like it's just
I learned what I needed.
the right move. This also seems like part of the right move. I mean, our opponent needs a sweeper. Do we just test whether or not they have a sweeper? Okay, well, they've run White Sun's Twilight, Depopulate, Path of Peril, so they could have a ton of sweepers. I think we just wait. But yeah, if we get this ever to go off, we can get, actually we can't get any of our Flesh Gorgers because they're all in our graveyard. Actually, that's a lie. There's one more Flesh Gorger in our library. There's 3 in the deck. There's 1 in hand, 1 in the graveyard. And we have all the we have 2 Atraxas in the graveyard, 2 in the library. Opponent can proliferate with a staff, or they can. Yeah, we kind of need to end the game now. Let's go ahead, 0, draw a card, see if we find anything that is really good.
Phyrexia's secrets won't stay hidden for long.
Go ahead, attack in. I mean, if this is lethal, it's lethal. If not, like, they need to find the Faithful Mending, and it's not like they have that many in their deck, most likely. They're digging for the Faithful Mending. Did they find the Faithful Mending? They found the Faithful Mending. Okay. So we are dead. Great. That is great. Opponent loses 2 life. We gain 2 life. I love poison. It's very fun. I don't think it matters what we 2 up. I was wrong. Oh wait, it's not a black creature because it's... Oops. I didn't know that. Alright, lesson learned. Uh, uh...
Unfortunately for you, my head's in the game.
Hmm. I don't think there's anything we can do. We get to lose with an emblem. Actually, well, no, they can gain enough life where it doesn't matter. Ah, that's so upsetting. So upsetting. Should have reanimated Atraxa, I guess. I don't know. I would have just gained a bunch of life and then sweepered? Well, like, how did they deal with the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger? Yeah, we reanimated it, stuck on the battlefield, they sweepered. That's what happened. Mm. Yeah, just a few cards that would generate us different colors of mana might be useful. There are ninjas that generate treasure, so maybe that's another card to consider. Opponent, the writing is literally on the wall. There you go. And then you tap your little staff after you Teferi uptick. Okay. Opponent's gonna take their sweet time finding out how to kill someone, I guess? I don't know. Yep, there you go. Yep. 26 life, 10 poison. I love it. Great. Great experience. Man, I cannot enjoy poison. I just can't. Opponent tapped us once. We'll play one more game, just because that was a very salty game for me, and I will apologize for that, but hopefully this next game will go at least more straightforwardly. Alright, we got Kaito, which is not bad. We have a turn 1 play and then a turn 2 ninjutsu. Opponent goes first. If they're playing mono red or mono black, we might just lose. We do need a third land that we want to hopefully draw, so kind of reliant on having this Battlefly Swarm survive. Tap land's not bad. I should have specified it would have been nice to have a black tap land, but this still gets us a Kaito, which isn't bad. Does our opponent cut down the Battlefly Swarm? The world may never know. Try not to hover it so our opponent doesn't just like think about it, they think about the cards in their hand. Try and set up their future turns or something. I don't know. This is the Innistrad background, I believe. Ninja. 2 damage overall card. Pretty good. Pretty good value. And then next turn we can play Kaito after attacking in, which is pretty good. because then we can just draw a card. Card draw is good. It's not glamorous, but it's good. And then we have another Planeswalker known as Kaido that also can just draw a card each turn. 4 mana, draw a card each turn. I think we'll go ahead and take this. I will discard. I mean, I guess we can discard the land. We have Otawara for next turn. I'm going to be drawing a card here. Alright, draw a card for free. I mean, I guess I could have made a dork. Okay, we got Satoru and we have something to ninjutsu. Alright, good. So we just need 2 turns, and then we can do our thing. Our opponent here, though, I wonder if they're a chaotic transformation deck here. Be pretty cool from our opponent. I would give them that. Go ahead, play out Satoru. Just in case our opponent goes for our Battlefly Swarm, we will tick down our Kaito to get an unblockable creature for a Phyrexian Fleshgorger ninjutsu'ing. Hopefully. Another reason to play Phyrexian Fleshgorger, I haven't talked about this, but it's just a good card on 3, and then it's a good card on 7. It's a good card for ninjutsu. It has Menace, which makes it also pretty evasive, which can be relevant. Opponent, I guess, not actually a chaotic transformation deck. They're just ramping. We'll create unblockable. Oh, okay. Domain. That makes more sense about the Tangled Islet. And the Zeotori's Proving Ground. Kami's War, they're gonna go for the Planeswalker, that's fine. That is alright. Alright. Everything's spinning. Ninjutsu. We'll go ahead and get the Battlefly Swarm back to hand. Top 3 cards. Pick up a Zumi Prowler, I like it. And then play out another Battlefly Swarm. Opponent probably is gonna return the Satoru to our hand, I would think. Opponent has to get rid of our Fleshgorger though. But if they get rid of our Fleshgorger without using like life gain first, we're gonna have a little bit of problem. Ooh, that's fun. Return something that you own. That's interesting. Let's get rid of the Battlefly Swarm. I think we already have enough going on. Opponents, do you have a sweeper? They could have Drag Under. Farewell. That card does do things. I will give them that. It does do those things, known as removing everything from the board. We could play out Satoru and only Satoru, and then Kaito next turn to give it unblockable, but we don't have enough mana to do that. We're gonna play this and play this, so that we at least have one unblockable thing, and then our Phyrexian Fleshgorger should be able to ninjutsu in and take the win. Actually, I take that back. They could play down another creature here, which might be relevant. Okay. Double kicker. Bye-bye, Satoru. This is what losing the game looks like. Gosh darn it. Just not good enough at our job, I guess. I mean, I play this down, I make something unable to block, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I play this, I draw a card. Like, I don't have any good options here.
So this is my opponent. I'm not. Sometimes the win
cut down our own Nezumi Prowler. Sounds like a good plan. I'm trying to draw into a land, because we just need a land to play this Flesh Gorger, and then we can maybe at least just play it and trade. Stern. You're freaking kidding me. I can return Farewell? That's a war crime on a stick. That's not okay. Okay, they don't Farewell, so there might be some hope or something like that. I don't know. Oh. Instead of cut down, a bounce spell might be better. We haven't found that much that we've actually wanted to target with our cut downs. So swapping them like half of them out for a bounce spell might be just the move. Opponent didn't attack him with the Angel of Wrath, which was interesting. I mean, I can just double like removal things and then play Kaito. It sounds like something reasonable. Take this. Oh yeah. We'll do this, and then next turn we can draw discard. Maybe? Now we'll just draw. Opponent's gonna sweeper the board with Farewell. If they wanted to, they could. I guess. I don't know. They can just get your Slimefoot Survey back. I don't know. I don't know. This is the flip side of ninjas. If you don't kill in time, you just don't do anything. I mean, we just force a return like a massive spell and we die to the flyer over the next 2 turns. Or actually, just this turn we die. Actually, I'm not entirely sure with this turn we die because we have 3 chump blockers and then we gain 3 life. I don't know, get your Angel of Wrath back. I mean, they're gonna blow up our stuff. Wait. Oi, oi, oi. Don't block the Satoru and don't kill this opponent, please. Look at him, he's just an innocent man with a sword. That is what an innocent man with a sword looks like, alright? Opponent, why are you attacking? Here, have something big. Yeah, I will say we got lucky this series of games at the start. Granted, our opponents also got relatively lucky here at the end because they were able to like pick up tempo, they found their sweepers and everything like that. But I think we did get pretty lucky to win our games. I think there's a reason why you don't see ninjas on ladder. Let me see if it actually shows up on Untapped Best of Ones meta list here. Dimir. Sorry, I will go to the deck. Obviously, the deck list is different. The one that I'm running than whatever is gonna be potentially Dimir Toxic. Wow, I just keep scrolling. I don't even see it. Yeah, I don't know if it's on in the top, like, how many deck archetypes is this? It's got to be like 30, top 30 decks, or well, 30 most popular decks. I don't know if it's top 30, but yeah, that is that's the deck. It's Sneaky Atraxa. Hopping into the deck tech here. Sorry, we got a little distracted. We got, as I was talking at the beginning of the video, we have 5/1/1 flyer, or 1 mana flyers here. We got 4 network disruptors. These are nice because they're artifact creatures, so that's why we're prioritizing them. Also, when they enter the battlefield, they tap target permanent, so this can potentially tap down a blocker when we're going to make an attack, which is kind of nice. This isn't really that good of a card, but it's just there so that there's a flyer, and the flyer doesn't get blocked, and then we can ninjutsu. Same thing with Thousand Face Shadow. It's a 1/1 flying 1 mana creature. This one has a lot more upside because it has ninjutsu on it, and despite it being expensive, its ninjutsu can be pretty crazy if it gets to go off, because you just like you ninjutsu in this, and then you duplicate your biggest, best creature attacking, and that could be a Phyrexian Fleshgorger. A little unlikely it's a Phyrexian Fleshgorger, but it could be. Uh, Battlefly Swarm. This is just I picked this one as like probably like the third best 1 mana 1/1 flyer because we can give it Death Touch for 1 black mana, and so this can block pretty well if we choose to hold up mana. Next up, Cut Down. We have 3 copies of Cut Down because it's really important that in the early game we can clear that path so we can start ninjutsuing and kind of snowball draw with our like Moon Circuit Hacker and Kaito to basically find our pieces to end the game as fast as possible, I guess. Basically just find our pieces to keep going and try and end the game. We're also playing, as I've mentioned multiple times, Moon Circuit Hacker. This card is probably my favorite ninja of the bunch because this ninjutsu is only 1 mana, so it's really cheap, and then you draw a card and it does 2 damage. Not bad, I don't think. And then even if it entered the battlefield, or like even it says when it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless it entered the battlefield this turn. So the first turn it enters the battlefield, you just draw a card, and then future turns it can help you to still sift through your cards, toss an Atraxa into the graveyard, and maybe Cruelty of Gixit, which is cool. Um, we also have Go for the Throat in the 2 mana slot. Destroy target non-artifact creature. This is just more removal, really cheap removal, and this is going to hit the things that Cut Down can't, which is kind of nice. So yeah, this is important. We need to be able to actually get in with our creatures super reliably so we can actually do the whole ninjutsu plan. Nezumi Prowler, there's a bunch of different options for your other ninjutsu payoffs here. I picked Nezumi Prowler because I like that it gave Death Touch and Lifelink, so this can help you gain life, and then there's matchups where perhaps you're racing a bit more. And then if something ends up blocked and something is unblocked, you can then give that blocked thing Death Touch and Lifelink. Most importantly, Death Touch so that it can trade effectively. And that can surprise your opponent because they block with like Shieldred, they block the Moon Circuit Hacker, and you're flying in with a Network Disruptor. Boom, you Nezumi Prowler with the Network Disruptor. Your Moon Circuit Hacker now has Death Touch, slams into the Shieldred, and their Shieldred dies. So that's like kind of what could happen. That's the upside with this card. And then we have Kaito. So we're trying to play some Planeswalkers here. We have 2 of each of the Kaitos. Planeswalkers are nice because, well, again, we're trying to diversify our creature. Sorry, we're trying to diversify all of our like permanent types some, so that we actually like hit a bunch of different good things off of Atraxa. So that's important. And then Satoru Umezawa. This is the 2/4 that gives everything ninjutsu, or ninjutsu for 4. So Yeah, this is pretty important to the plan. This is how we get Atraxa onto the battlefield, surprise our opponent. Kaido, I forgot to talk about Kaido's abilities. Kaido's really good. Enter the battlefield, you can just do whatever you want, and it phases out, so it's good for at least 2 activations, which is really nice. So it's like 2 minute or 3 minute, at least, filter through 2 cards. It's probably 2 mana, draw 2 cards, or 2 mana, create like a dork, draw a card. That's not bad. So I create an unblockable like little dork. So and then like the -7 is still pretty good. So that is that card. Kaito Dancing Shadow fits pretty well with this deck as well. We saw it against that control matchup. I think Kaito Dancing Shadow, if you're playing like a Esper Planeswalker brew, like 1 or 2 of these, this card just it does business. It pacifies a creature as a +1, which is pretty good. Um, it can draw cards each turn as like another alternative. It creates a pretty nice drone it's a 2/2 with Death Touch, and when it leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. So it can create a pretty good chump blocker, and then you can double activate it if you return a creature that attacked a creature that dealt combat damage to a player. If you return one of those to your hand, you get to activate Kaido's abilities twice here. This Kaido's ability, let me be clear. Um, Cruelty of Gix. Honestly, this card was pretty good, or it felt pretty good to draw because we managed to get our creatures into the graveyard. So I wonder if this card is maybe better. Like if we could play one more of them. I don't really know. But Cruelty of Gix, nice because you can reanimate like Atraxa or Flesh Gorger. We had a really clutch draw with it. It just didn't turn out as we would have hoped. Our opponent just had a pretty good answer to what we did there. And then for lands, we're playing all the rare dual lands that I have. Now, talking about improvements for this deck, I think what we learned is that the cutdowns didn't really feel that great. Or I think the cutdowns, the Nezumi Prowler didn't really feel that great. Um, and the Go for the Throat was alright. I think also Phyrexian Fleshgorger, while it's good, it wasn't really the end-all be-all. So I think some things that you could change here is instead of these cards, like you go down Phyrexian Fleshgorger, increase the Cruelty of Gix by 1, and then one thing that we ran into though consistently was we would have Atraxa in hand. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the fact that this says new. I guess it won't say new until I open and close this, I guess. There is a ninja though that creates treasure, which is relevant. Prosperous Thief. So this actually might be way, 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 way better to play than Nezumi Prowler so that we can potentially hardcast Atraxa. And then I think the Moon Circuit Hacker, we if we include at least like one more discard outlet. So I think if you have like Liliana, you maybe include like a copy of Liliana instead of Kaido Dancing Shadow here, or like you go down one of these, you go in a Liliana, because Liliana will allow you to discard Atraxa, and then you can reanimate it with your extra copy of like Cruelty of Gix and everything. So I think there is like you can build in like backup reanimation strategies. You can build in treasures here to actually hardcast your prosperous or sorry, hardcast your Atraxa. And I don't think it would be that hard to just simply like play a bit more dual lands because we have really good mana in standard right now, and I just thought we would be able to ninjutsu it in, or well, I just figured that I didn't really want to potentially screw up our turn 1, turn 2 curve out. I think that is very important. So if we can play any like of the fast lands that work with it. So like if we have, let's see, Phyrexian fast lands. So Seachrome Coast would work instead of some islands. You could play, yeah, Seachrome Coast is probably the only one I see here that fits as a fast land. Let's see about the Pain lands. The Pain lands, they showed up in Dominaria and Brothers War, right? So yeah, you can play maybe some Adhikar wastes. Um, but yeah, you can play some of the Sea Chrome coasts and these Yavimaya coasts so that you have, instead of all these basics, just get rid of your basics entirely and substitute them in with like corresponding color like combinations, right? So we have 6 swamps, swap them in for like 3 caves of Koilos and like 3 Llanowar wastes. And then like your islands, similarly, you can swap them in for 2 Adhikar wastes and two Yavimaya coasts. And that way you actually have this kind of redundancy to actually cast Atraxa. Because it was just so bad that we had Atraxa in hand that match that we played with Atraxa in hand that like that entire time, it would have gone so much differently if we were able to actually cast it. And we found a lot of land, so I think it's likely. So yeah, I would definitely suggest making those improvements. I'm not going to make the changes to the deck list here just because I want the deck to be consistent with the one that I played in the video. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to put a note in the comments to check out my suggestions or whatnot. And yeah, have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.